comments or anything yet. Minutes to sorry guys, we have storms here in Camden tonight. Hello Gary, and the connection is a little bit spotty. So did you guys see where Israel is now also attacking Syria? Like I'm pretty much getting most of my news from TikTok, because if you search certain like keywords on there, they show you stories that are actually going on around the world right now. And yeah, Israel dropped bombs on Syria this afternoon on their capital. Like, am I crazy, or did one of the old channels get restored? So YouTube just sent out an email not too long ago that any channel that had been shut down and due to censorship was getting restored. So you might not be crazy. I didn't know that it happened yet. They sent an email saying that it was going to happen, but I believe that channel is getting restored. Adam and Mark. So I'm not sure if you guys saw the video that I put out on like how to stop school shootings and everything with the legislation, the gun control legislation that I wanted to get proposed and passed. But I really, Missouri Survival said, I regret ever believing I needed to support Israel. And then Fabio, looking forward to seeing you guys in November for Fighting Pistol in Camden. We cannot wait. Yeah, so the school shooting stuff, all of this is getting, like, I see all of the different connections. I feel, you guys know that meme of the guy from It's Sunny in Philadelphia who has like the red strings connecting everything? That is where I'm currently at. So if you start with the Charlie Kirk shooting, like the most recent big thing to happen, like the Charlie Kirk shooting, the Israeli attacks on Gaza, like all of that stuff, if you start there and you backtrack a little bit, Bibi Netanyahu had offered, like it had extended an invitation to Charlie to come over to Israel to visit. Charlie declined that offer. He then declined $150 million in donations to Turning Point USA. And it was insane to me that Bibi Netanyahu did a video saying like, hey guys, why are we catching any flack for this? Like, if there wasn't a kernel of something there, like, why the hell are we even addressing it? Like, seriously, why are we addressing it? But you go back a little bit further and it ties into the Epstein files. Charlie Kirk was not only questioning Israel, he also was saying, hey guys, release the Epstein files. If you look a little bit deeper into the Epstein files, Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad agent whose entire job was to blackmail Western politicians, European and Western politicians, because it's not just the United States that Israel has bought, and like, it's not. So that was his entire job. His girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, Ghislaine, however you pronounce her name, is the daughter of the dude who wrote the dude who owns the company that wrote all of the books that they teach us in school, the Maxwell House production books. You like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I remember like all of my books having that name on it. And so you're like, okay, so Epstein is connected to what's going on in Israel currently. because he was a Mossad agent, so clearly he's connected to that. You also have to consider the October 7th stuff, something that Charlie specifically spoke out about in one of his more recent videos that YouTube took down, by the way. You can still catch snippets of it, but they were like, nix that episode. He was just like, hey guys, something fishy was going on October 7th. You can't walk 10 feet in Israel without running into an IDF soldier. Why were they given stand down orders that day? And you're like, oh shit, governments are totally capable of doing inside jobs, which circles back to the whole 9/11 thing. If you have watched the most recent, if you've watched the most recent Tucker Carlson video that he put out, he is asking for a new and honest 9/11 commission. And I really think that that's also going to tie back to the Israelis. I think that Tucker is going about it in a very, skirt the issue kind of way. He knows that if, all of this stuff is connected as well, and that if you can pull just one thread, that it's all going to unravel. And the fact that they're sitting there letting him talk about, hey guys, 9/11 was an inside job. You got fooled. It's like, oh, they really want to stay away from the Epstein list. They can remain in charge. And again, when I say they, I mean either the United States government or the Israeli government. They can, they will be in charge of the 9/11 commission and hey guys, we'll give you the answers. So they'll have a little bit more control over that narrative than just releasing the files, because every single person that I know that is capable of critical thinking are putting together the dots. They are putting them together. It is seriously making me question everything I know about reality. It absolutely everything. I was talking to Andrew the other day. I was super grateful that I have somebody that is as interested in this stuff and doesn't make me feel insane. Because again, I look like the meme. I know, but that's almost a tactic that the governments use to get away with stuff. If you look back over the last decade or even 15 years, everything that we've said, hey guys, something's off there, the conspiracy theorist, turned out to be correct. So I really, I think that all of that, the fact that it's all getting talked about so much, we are onto something. We are absolutely onto something. Rocco, seeing you this weekend up at the Combat Art Training Summit. Missouri Survival said, I think Israel had some part in it for sure. If you take into consideration all of the stuff that we now know about the United States government and the Israeli government, I don't think that there is a way that they're not involved in all of the bad shit that we've had going on. Their Minister of Finance, I watched a video of him talking about how Gaza is going to make Israel and the United States billions, gonna make them billions. And then he went on to say, we've already taken care of the destruction part. It's something's crazy. Grant said, careful, Kayla, I get called a crazy conspiracy theorist every time I say that. Dude, Andrew and I were talking last week. They label people conspiracy theorists to try to make people associate that with crazy. Again, we have proven over and over and over that something is off when we think it's off. Yeah, Candace Owens said that only Erica or her husband could shut her up, and apparently Erica hasn't told her she's wrong or to stop. I'm telling you guys. John, it's like that scene in the Lego movie where Emmett says, they're great. They make coffee and security cameras and voting machines and textbooks. Wait a minute. The sheer audacity, because the Israeli government, and I want to be clear about something here. when I talk about the Israelis and when I talk about the US government, I am not talking about its people. I'm talking about the very specific group of members that serves in the government. So do not take this as an excuse to spew any kind of like anti-Jew stuff. It's not just like the United States is sitting here like, please don't blame us for what our government's doing. Their people are the same way. Right before the October 7th attack, Israel was on the brink of civil war. So their people are not down with this either. So please, please, please do not take this as an excuse to be a dick. Like it is the people against the governments. It is the people against the governments. Cheers from Fort Bragg. Malcolm! C-section. First time I've ever caught a live video, never get notifications. Jason, double check that you've got it, not only that you have the notification bar, or the notifications turned on from YouTube, but that you have the notifications turned on within the settings on your phone. Because I'll turn them on through YouTube a lot, but then I'll silence my notifications on my phone, so it does not always pop up. Missouri survival. Yeah, being anti-Zionist isn't anti-Semitism. It's not, and that's you really have to be careful with your wording when you speak about stuff, because the last thing that I want to do is incite hate against the wrong people. I'm totally fine causing you to hate the United States government and the Israeli government, all governments. Like, I don't think that you can be a good guy and be in the government at this point. Currently, there are about 200 members of the United States congressional people, senators and representatives over in Israel right now being bought and paid for by Bibi Netanyahu. I agree with Andrew's take. Poor people fighting poor people is not what is needed. That will only make it worse for longer. Absolutely. And that, like, our founding fathers knew what they were talking about. It talks constantly about the United States. Like, united we stand, divided we fall. And ultimately, this is what they were alluring to. We have to band together as a people. And, like, for example, today I was looking through more TikTok articles and stuff, and Marjorie Greene had proposed legislation that was anti-Israeli government. I can't remember the specifics off the top of my head. I've been doing so many like rabbit hole deep dives. But Marjorie Taylor Greene had proposed legislation that, I do remember what it was. It was to not give Israel like as much money, not to take it all away, but just to decrease the amount of money that we were giving to Israel. 6 members of Congress voted against it. 6. Everybody else said, no, keep going. Keep going. Give it to them. Goomba, this is an echo chamber of dipshittery in this chat. Please, if you have a different take, I'd love to hear it. I would absolutely love to hear it. Like, if there is another explanation that makes more sense, please share. Please share. Missouri said, my uncle works in the aviation industry and sails and travels to Israel at least once a year, and he begrudgingly told me he knows Israelis who said they believe their government stood down on October 7th. It's not even a question anymore. The IDF has admitted that they were given stand-down orders for, it was either 6 to 8 hours during this, like, October 7th attacks. Like, to sit there and pretend that there isn't sort of like some government corruption involved in this, you have your head so far up your ass, you're going to suffocate. Like, there's absolute, like, it's been proven. There are receipts that show government involvement. And it goes even further back than like 9/11. Like, JFK was shot after trying to get rid of the AIPAC stuff and make Israel register. Like, it's there's so much. I don't know when the last time we had politicians in office, like the majority. I'm not saying that there's not like one or two or six fighting the good fight, trying to do better for the American people. But I don't know when the last time in politics that we have people that put the American people first, like its constituents first. Whenever I tried to send the letter to all of my Tennessee representatives requesting the gun control legislation that I had mentioned to you guys, it would not let me contact anybody outside of my district. Like, I tried to, I went and looked up specific committees and figured out who was on what committee. And I was like, ooh, this, one of them was, I'm blanking on the word, like a Homeland Security. There was, like other stuff. So I was trying to reach out to those, congressional members, and it wouldn't let me if I wasn't in their district. It said the volume of calls that they were receiving was too high to take any kind of critiques or criticisms, questions, comments, concerns, anything from somebody outside of their district. And this just goes to show you how important it is to vote in your local elections and your state elections. So there were, we have 2 representatives from my district, or we were supposed to. One of them immediately resigned in July, and so the only current representative that I have on a federal level in my district is Marsha Blackburn. They're all bought out. He really... Hold on. Sorry. Missouri Survival. I might have missed something. He said he really hated to tell me that. I had to pin him down in conversation to get him to talk about it. He still thinks he has to kiss their ass, biblically speaking. So... Again, I'm not claiming to be an expert. This is just my opinion on the matter. Like, do your own research. But I do not believe that the people claiming to be current Israel is the same Israel the Bible speaks about. Just, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Like, I'm going to get canceled, but that's my opinion. It's a worldwide issue that the locals must band together to stand against our politicians. Absolutely. And like, I was really disappointed in my local community during COVID. That was a trial run. We know that was a trial run, just to see how easy it is to use fear to manipulate an entire population. And we showed the government that we're an easy target, that we are an easy target. People willingly handed over rights. Like, just keep me safe. Like, how is the government going to keep you safe from a virus? Like, a virus? How are they going to keep you safe from that? And this was like pre-vaccine. How are they going to keep you safe from a virus? Like, what are they doing for you? And then, like, having to change the definition of a vaccine to make it count as a vaccine, and how this was one of the first vaccines that didn't actually provide protection. It's just it was insane to me how quickly everybody just rolled over and was like, here, pet my belly and I'll do exactly what you tell me to do. The words of Benjamin Franklin strike now and struck me then. Those who will give up liberty for security deserve neither. Kayla, if you want to see something interesting, look for a documentary about the lost tribes of Israel from 1998. I've been looking into some of that stuff, and God, like, Heather and Joey are going to be like, you're not allowed to do live streams anymore. You say the most controversial shit. But again, I watched a video like trying to stay current on what all's going on. And one of the questions that was posed was, at what point did Jesus start getting portrayed as European? Because in the earliest depictions of him, he had very Middle Eastern presenting features described. And it was like, looking into that, it said that Jesus was a Palestinian Jew. Granted, this was on Google. I Googled, so I haven't, like, it did not come from a journal. It wasn't any kind of like cited source. It was like what Google gave me. But I was just like, wait, Palestinian Jew? Again, I don't know enough about, like, I'm still learning. So I haven't come to my exact conclusions yet. But just like, I remember one of the, no, I can't say that on here. Gotta stop. Okay. Yep. It reminds me about a funny story that I will absolutely tell any of you guys in person about, like me telling people Jesus was not white. Like, sorry guys, like he was not a pasty person. Christianity originates from Africa. And then Mark said, you may also want to talk to TJ Bear about some of these things. Hey, K-Chur, Google competently. And that's what, like, what is happening? That's what is so frustrating about all of this. Is like, I really am trying to do my due diligence, and that's why I put all of the precursors, like, this was just Google, like, do not take this for fact or anything like that. Just a funny that I come across, because to me it doesn't matter what color Jesus was, but you can really get people riled up talking about it. So I did not dive deeper into that to confirm or anything like that, because I really don't give a fuck. But no, like, being able to research stuff doesn't feel realistic anymore, because everything is being censored so hardcore, and even going into like stuff that would have been allowed as a citation for like college papers, like the NIH, like you could use the .gov as a citation and it would have been taken as fact, not opinion, like scientific journals, articles and things like that that were peer reviewed and all of this stuff. But like during COVID, the NIH edited and deleted articles. So it, as important as it is to Google competently, it also is like really difficult to know if you've reached the end of where you need to stop the digging. Like, who put that article out? Like, who were the peers that reviewed it? Because again, if the entire scientific community could convince the country that COVID, like, could be stopped by wearing a face bandana, like, what kind of peer reviews are we doing? Like, what sources can you trust? And that, so yes, I do agree that you should be able to Google competently. I'm at a loss for like, what is reality and what is trustworthy? Like, what are trustworthy sources now? Because again, like I said earlier in the video, Maxwell's dad, Epstein's lover's dad, owns the company that wrote all of our books for school. And the deeper I dive into history and look at other countries' history books, because one of the places that you can go and actually find stuff that's not edited, news articles, things like that, is on Minecraft. There's like a library on Minecraft that you can go and find articles from, news articles from all over the world. And so you can confirm stuff like that. But yeah, outside of that, there's not a whole lot of places that I am confident that what they are saying is true. Right, Mark? Get TJ from Grindstone Ministries. Heck. I think most people who are biblically literate would know Jesus wasn't a white bread Englishman. Dude, you are overestimating people's critical thinking skills. Like, reach out to me so I can tell you the story about me telling people that Jesus wasn't white. Like, the person I told pointed to a picture, a painted picture. I was like, what color is his skin in that picture? Like, the painting? Like, what I should have done was, like, snuck back into the house and, like, went over Jesus with brown paint. Like, I just want to make it more accurate, historically accurate, right? Yeah, remember that peer-reviewed studies says sugar was good for you. Alex Jones is pretty good. Just remember he gets hyperbolic. I was talking to Alex, like my Alex today, and was just like, in what reality would it have ever been possible for me to believe that, like, Tucker Carlson is one of the most trusted sources in journalism, in my opinion? Like, that I'm looking to Tucker Carlson for the truth about stuff. Like, him getting fired from Fox was the best thing that ever happened to him. Betterville Dogs, Dakota. Slowly repaint it one shade darker at a time. The painting in question went away when the people who owned it passed away. So, like, I love some Alex Jones. Yeah, I remember, like, OG Alex Jones stuff, like, way back in the day, us getting the news from him, and I feel like such an asshole because I was one of the people that was like, damn, Alex Jones is getting a little bit crazy for me. Like, no, he was just, like, telling more and more truths. He does get very hyperbolic, though, so you have to be careful. And that's the problem. Like, there is not I don't know a trusted source on mainstream media that doesn't lean so far left or so far right that it's just a lie. Like, they completely fabricate things. So even if you are hearing stuff that makes you feel like what you believe is true, like, second guess it and find a second source. Like, that's kind of how I've been figuring out whether or not the stuff I see is real, is it has to come from multiple sources, hopefully multiple verified sources, and still hold weight whenever you start to try to poke holes in it. Watch the Jack Carr Home Library tour, why he's going back and buying full encyclopedias from every decade to see how information changes. It's creepy. Like, I remember the moment that I found the NIH website article edited. And then I remember trying to go back and find it, and it was just gone. I was on TikTok and was trying to justify why I wasn't getting the vaccine. And what I said was, if you look at VAERS, which is the Vaccine Adverse Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, that's what VAERS is. From 1990 to 2020, there had never been more than 12 million reported adverse events in a single year's time with all the vaccines that we have on the market. And pre-2020, VAERS was respected by healthcare professionals as, like, accurate numbers because it is a criminal offense to falsely report. Like, you can go to jail if you report something to VAERS that's not true. So from 1990 to 2020, never more than 12 million reports of adverse reactions to vaccines in a single year. From January 21 to July 21, there were over 90 million reports of adverse reactions. And that come out when the COVID vaccine was made available to the public. And I was using that information, like I was looking for, like, hey, and looking on at VAERS, and I had a nurse practitioner on TikTok tell me, like, hey, VAERS isn't verified. Like, anybody can report anything on there. Like, last year you took this information into account, but this year you're saying it's not accurate or true because it doesn't align with your beliefs. So I went and I found the article that specifically was talking about ivermectin, because again, ivermectin is a human medication as well, okay? It has been in existence for decades. It's super cheap, it's super effective. And back when I was working at Madison County Jail, we had, there was a scabies outbreak among the nurses. And I think I did not get it, but they tried to give all of the nurses ivermectin, the pill form, as a preventative measure. Like, if you had scabies, it would kill it. If you didn't have it, it would prevent you from getting it. And I was like, I don't have scabies. I don't, like, I've taken all the precautions. Like, if I get scabies, sure. But if they were willing to give it to me as a preventative, it wasn't that dangerous. Because the doctor that was in charge of all the nurses, like, he wrote like 20 prescriptions for it. Every single nurse was told to take it. So I went and filled the prescription and then just never took it. I didn't tell them. So if they were willing to do it as a preventative, the mainstream media tried to trick the American public and say that ivermectin was nothing more than a horse dewormer. That's absolutely false. So they made it seem like if you were using ivermectin, you were crazy. Like, if you took the whole, like, deworm, like the actual horse dose, yeah, it would have made you sick. But that came in human form as well. And there was an NIH article talking about the efficacy of ivermectin in the SARS outbreak that we had back when, like, in the late 2000s. And I was like, so if it was effective against a SARS virus, which was what COVID was also a SARS virus, if it was effective on that one, why are they working so hard to not even let us use it for this one? So I cited that article in the TikTok comment. Like, hey, I know that you're saying, like, the vaccines, the VAERS, like, I'm just saying that there are other ways without forcing people to be vaccinated that we could be helping people. Here's an article. I went back and it was not too long after that. And it was just like, it said it wasn't as effective, that it had been used but was found ineffective. And I was like, wait a second. I cited this article specifically because it talked about the efficacy of ivermectin in relation to COVID. I went back like less than a month later to show somebody, like, look at this shit. Because I have a lot of healthcare professionals in my life, and all of them were aware that COVID was treatable, like that SARS was treatable with ivermectin. Like, it was pretty well known. And so I was like, look at this shit. It's saying it's ineffective. And they're like, what? Except the article wasn't there. Like, I was looking for the, what? Reaction. The article was gone, totally deleted, and I couldn't find it on there. And again, I had a link. It said the link did not exist. And in that moment, I shot back to, like, reading the book 1984 by George Orwell. Like, if you haven't read that book, fix yourself, you need to. And it hit me just how fucking close to that we are. We have smartphones and smart devices. You know where it talks about in the book where it's the TV that listens to you in your homes? We have that. It talks about the system where they have to go down, they send through the tubing system, they tell the people in the government building what edits to make to history and what edits to make to medicine and journal. Like, it gives you what you're allowed to feed the people. And like, I think that we are coming closer to the final step where they're telling us where we can go, who we can go with, who we can talk bad about. Like, there is a war on the First and Second Amendment right now, actually the whole Constitution, but specifically the First and Second Amendment. And what is absolutely terrifying, I told you guys in the beginning, all of this ties together. All of it ties together. What is terrifying is it feels like I have like powers that I can see into the future having this information, is that I truly believe with my whole heart that the United States government is perpetuating all of these things happening in conjunction with other bad governments. They are perpetuating all of these bad things that are happening, like the assassination of Charlie Kirk, like the school shootings, because yes, I believe that the government is involved in them. Like all of this other stuff, so that they can take away your First and Second Amendment. And then once those are gone, all you have to do is look at the statistics. Like, the math doesn't lie. The leading cause of death between people ages 18 to 40 is democide, where your own government murders you. Look at the government, who they surround themselves with. Like, they had Bill Gates making decisions back during COVID. The same dude who said that we needed to reduce the world population. Like, he was helping with this stuff. And it, like, I just don't trust it. Guys, I will flat out say it. The United States government is actively working to be able to commit democide if they so choose. All they have to do is take away your Second Amendment right, and then you no longer have the capability to fight back. So, like, whew. Sorry, I've been on a rant and I haven't been reading comments. So find a source in the middle, and when you do, ask them, do they know anyone in the middle in Australia? Physical media is king. What's scary about the, like, I do know that physical media is king, like holding on to stuff. What's scary is that we don't get to know who's posting the stuff that they put in physical print. And what's even more unnerving is the advancement of AI. So there are videos, because I'm a little bit sketch about, like, I saw one video, I haven't confirmed it or anything, again, like, I just scrolling, Candace Owens coming out and being like, hey guys, I never said it was Israel. I was like, bitch, I've got your video saved to my phone. I know you did. You heavily implied it if you didn't outright say it. Like, you might not have said Israel is responsible, but you're like, hey, we should be asking questions and this and this and this. Like, you were connecting the dots. So the fact that AI has become so advanced, I don't know if I'm watching the real Candace Owens. I don't know if I'm watching the real Tucker Carlson. I don't know if I'm watching the real Donald Trump. Like, I don't know. So, Missouri Survival said, I've never done a recreational drug in my life, but I'd smoke with Alex Jones right now. Sam Russell, 12 million seems like a lot. It's a whole soapbox. It's a whole soapbox. What I will say on the issue is the same thing that I said surrounding COVID. The two extreme opinions about COVID was either it's killing everybody or COVID's not real. And I didn't find a whole lot of people that understood, like, hey, COVID is absolutely real and it is killing people. So does the flu. So does all of these other medical issues that we have, pneumonia, like all of this stuff that kills people every single year. So, like, it is real. It does kill people. It's not as scary as they're making it out to be. And I have the same feeling about vaccines. Some vaccines, I believe in my heart, are necessary. I have been, they tried to call CPS on me when Alex was in the Army, and I declined to vaccinate my children immediately. I do delayed vaccination, so my children do get vaccinated, but it's delayed because I want their immune systems to be able to tolerate it. I know correlation doesn't equal causation, but in my head, the most frequent times for SIDS to occur is 2, 4, and 6 months, and that coincides or correlates to the 2, 4, and 6 month vaccines. I think it's just too much for their immune systems. I'm not saying that the government is actively putting things in to kill babies. Not that they're above that. But I believe that it is too much for their tiny little immune systems. When people, like, I question all vaccines, but there are some of them, like the Tdap. You don't want to get tetanus. Whooping cough is a serious issue for little babies. So, like the Tdap vaccine, and it includes tetanus, diphtheria, and or not diphtheria. I can't remember. Pertussis, the whooping cough. I cannot remember the D one. It might be diphtheria, and then tetanus. I recommend that vaccination. I got it when I was pregnant to protect my kids for the first 6 months. And then after that, we didn't start doing vaccines on them until they were 18 months old. So, like, yeah, 12 million is a hell of a lot. So, back to the point, vaccine injuries are real. I also believe that there are some necessary vaccines. So, both things can hold true. Sink Uger said, Alex confronted me once a few years ago. It did not go well. I don't know which Alex you're talking about. Missouri Survival said, my mother-in-law got COVID vaxxed and didn't tell anyone until she started having seizures. So that was the even crazier thing. I had never met someone personally that had a severe vaccine injury. I had met people that had vaccine injuries, that some of their underlying conditions had been linked back to. I'd met people that had allergic reactions to them, but I'd never met somebody whose life was completely altered by a vaccine. I personally know at least 4 whose lives have been forever altered due to the COVID vaccine. So, yeah. The 2 people I have seen that have bias but don't lie is Nick Freitas and Tucker Carlson. Tim Pool is usually more centrist and slightly to the right, but often gets stuff wrong because he's throwing out what is breaking. Ivermectin, the horse dewormer? No, the human pill. It, like, you know that they sell amoxicillin. Like, people don't call me crazy if I say, like, hey, I mean, you might call me crazy if you know my kids are allergic, but people don't call me crazy when I say, hey, I'm going to go get some antibiotics from the store. Why? Like, they sell the same amoxicillin that they sell at the fucking Petco or the Tractor Supply is the amoxicillin that you're getting in the doctor's office. It's just, like, packaged differently and put differently. Like, it's the same medication. It works the same way. Again, it was one of those things that they being the United States government, put out there to make people seem crazy. Jeremy McCook, can I come to class if I have scabies? You can show up, but people will probably give you a soap bar welcoming if you do and they get it. Conspiracy Kayla has a nice ring to it. Like, dude, they're no longer conspiracies, but again, I embrace it. My tinfoil hat, like, it's permanent at this point. Absolutely permanent. Look up Smart Dust. It's a tech being worked on to give everything an IP address, the Internet of Everything. That sounds terrifying. It's like history is cyclical. You would think those who fail to remember history are doomed to repeat it. Remember when an Air Force officer was a defense witness for the Batman shooter? Wait, what? I might have missed all of that. Missouri Survival. Sorry, some of these comments are a little bit older because I've ranted a lot. AI could very much become the counterfeit God. It could be the closest thing to an all-knowing, all-seeing entity. AI is scary, and that's why I put out the video. I think it's out. It might not be out yet. I've done a video on, like, family passwords and things like that. Having a code word with your family to confirm that what they are speaking to is not an AI version of you. My RN aunt said with my kids, if it was her, she'd recommend a delayed rollout schedule as well, which is what we did. Yeah, I do delayed vaccinations. Like that's Mark Curtis said the pediatrician looked at me like I was an asshole when I asked for the safety data sheet or whatever it's called that comes in the box with the vaccines. They act so freaking weird about that. At the local health department, Alex, whenever he took Gatlin to get some shots, again, we're on a delayed schedule, so we have a paper that says, hey, they're working on it, and that's how he gets into school. But he was like, hey, I kind of want you to draw those up in front of me. Like, I want to make sure that the vial matches what you say you're giving me. And the nurse got kind of like pissy about it. And like, no, that's one of the 7 rights of medication. Like, you're supposed to do that in front of your patient. So should tetanus vaccine happen every 10 or 15 years? It's 5. Every 5 to 10. If you are at risk, I would do every 5. Outside of that, 10. Breast milk should cover all the baby's immunity needs. So if you get the shot after you have the baby, it like your antibodies can be passed through the breast milk. I was a huge proponent of like breast milk fixes everything. I saved it and it was like eye infection, breast milk, like your sinuses are stopped up, breast milk, ear infection, breast milk, coconut oil and breast milk was my go-to for everything. Like I got labeled a crunchy mom, like a hippie style mom. And I was just like, I'm the furthest thing from like a hippie, but they have a point with certain stuff and like breast milk and coconut oil, it fixes all of it. Yeah, it's 5 years is what you want to do. There's a lot of like deleted messages and message retraction. Yeah, you should ask where is the lie every time you see something on the internet, doubly if it makes you feel emotional in some way. Abso-fucking-lutely. I believe James specifically said you can train with scabies. Definitely was in more than one rant about training with disabilities after the wheelchair controversy. So the rule of thumb for scabies is that it's 15 minutes of skin-to-skin contact or 15 minutes of sitting in a chair, you get up and then somebody else sits in the same chair for 15 minutes. Like that's the rule. So as long as you're not like all up on people, you shouldn't. Like there was a reason that I didn't get scabies at the jail. We did that too. Kayla said that they did that too and the doctor was pissed. It infuriates me when medical professionals get mad at you for asking them to do their job correctly. Like, no. Doctors act like they're the ones in charge. No, sir, or no, ma'am. You are hired. I am paying you to do a service for me. And at any time, if I don't think you're living up to that expectation, I can tell you to fuck off and be just fine. Like, absolutely. I can go get a second opinion. Yeah, Jeremy said, James used to joke and say, come to class. I don't care if you have chiggers, AIDS, gingivitis, herpes, foot fungus. We really don't. Like other people might get weirded out and like beat you with some soap, but you'll recover. It's not going to kill you. Like, but did you die? No. So you're fine. Keep the rant if the information is worth spreading compared to our current media platforms. Absolutely. Like I know that I get on so many soapboxes. I'm just so passionate about this stuff. Like I feel a fire in my soul to spread, at minimum, spread the information. Like wake other people up. And then Jason said, I read where one of the AI was being upgraded to whole new code. When they were in the process of shutting it down, it realized it was being killed off and transferred a copy of the code to a server. Dude, we've watched The Terminator. We watched iRobot. We watched all the movies. We knew the risk. We knew what was going to happen. Like, we're asking for a war with the robots. That's why I'm nice. And I say please and thank you to my appliances. Like, I don't ever get mad and kick the fridge. Like, I'm nice to my appliances. Okay? Transferred a copy of the code to a server overseas to preserve its life. I learned to preserve its own life. So I don't, I was just joking about saying please and thank you to most of the time. Sometimes I accidentally say it. But something that I saw specific to that story where the AI copied their own code was that it was told, this is about to happen, do whatever it takes to survive, and that's why they responded like that. So it was written into the code that they were supposed to do that. Could have just been a cover-up story. Could have been somebody trying to freak us out and say that we're going to be in the robot war today, and we're not there yet. I'm not sure. James used to as well, and it turned out all right. Yeah, the rants are happening. So Adam, he asked, are they fixing up the old shop classroom? Looks like they fixed the front on Google Earth. I was missing it and looked it up today. So no, they are not fixing the old shop in its entirety. The storm that caused us to have to move out, that pulled that front part off the wall and off of the side, after that storm, the owner of the building was just like, hey guys, like, I'm not fixing anything. If you guys want to fix it, I'll take it off the rent. But that's a lot, a whole lot. It was going to be like, we needed a new roof, a bunch of boards replaced on inside, on the inside, we'd have to replace all of this stuff. It just wasn't worth the cost. But every storm after that, the debris would get pulled out of the building and the metal part on the front would roll down, and it was affecting the other businesses. It was coming off of that building and causing destruction to other businesses. So the city made them replace that part. Missouri Survival said, I think a lot of people know we're in a volatile period, a crossroads where we have to be passionate about truth and be all in as much as we possibly can. I said when Charlie Kirk was shot that it felt like a monumental moment in history. Like, the shot heard around the world. And that evening, like, I spiraled. I felt empty. I felt dread. I was like, something big and something nefarious is going on. And then the next day, when I started seeing all of these people come together to honor Charlie Kirk's memory, and all of these people from the left and right starting to agree about things and that were bigger than like who you're sleeping with at night. Like, the only rule there, consenting adults. That's it. But like who you're sleeping with or what you think of a social program, like they're looking at it truly as good versus evil. I need you to go inside. There's another adult in there, okay? Sorry, guys, I'm babysitting for an alumni. I've got 6 kids here tonight. So, sorry, where was I? That people are opening up to seeing that it really is good versus evil. And that all of the little things that they being the United States government have kept us arguing about, creating division, was a ploy to keep us from realizing that, like, we're the motherfuckers in charge of this country, not the 535 members of Congress, not the vice president, not the president. Like, we the people are in charge of this fucking country, and that if we so choose, a tar and feathering could happen. I'm not saying to do it. I'm not saying I want to do it or I'm gonna do it. I'm just saying that if we united, they know that that's possible, and they're afraid of it. And they need to be. They need to be. 3%. That's all it took, guys. 3%. And if you look at Nepal and all, like, they wrote the playbook. That being said, somebody has to maintain the moral high ground. And that's why I keep bringing up Nepal, because they had a morally righteous revolution. You don't get to say that you were morally righteous if you are killing innocent people. You don't get to say that you are morally righteous if you are using it as a cover to steal, to lie, to deceive, to pillage, to rape, to do crime. Like, Nepal pulled off a morally righteous revolution and overthrew their fucking government. We have to remain morally righteous in any movement we have forward. Any movement whatsoever. Sam said the Yeager family has been keeping the soapbox industry alive for 30 years. Oh, absolutely. Dakota, people that say they cannot feel the shift, I assume are nefarious. It doesn't sit right with my soul. Absolutely. Adam asked, how long have you been watching Charlie for? 6 or 7 years for me, and I mourned him for a long time. I have too. I felt a connection to Charlie with the college debate stuff because that was something that I personally was a part of when I was in college. So I felt a connection there, like a likeness with somebody who wanted to sit down and have actual conversations and listen to your point of view and to try to get them to a level of understanding through truths and facts and things like that. So I've been watching him for years, back when him and Candace Owens first started doing things together. I loved both of them, and getting to see their journey and watch them both grow and become huge public figures with the support that they have, it really felt like I lost somebody that I knew. And I'm still not okay with what happened. I have a copy of the video on my phone because as it was going on, I kind of switched the emotions off and was just given like play-by-play feedback of this is what I think it is, and if you watch the video, this is what happens. And I haven't been able to go back and watch the video since the shock of let's just go into analytical mode wore off. It's heavy. Elias Hammer, this country needs to put God first as it did before. We would be much better off. Duran Fuller, America is a fighting hand. That's what I want to remind everybody of before we're coming to the close of the live stream. So if you hear anything I say, hear this. Americans were born to be free, and if that freedom was even remotely put at risk to be taken away, they were born to fucking fight. It is in your bloodline to be a free person. Like, don't let that die out. Don't let that die out. Tully said, is your government the ruling government, or are there non-governing entities involved for the power and money? This is a worldwide issue that's all connected. Absolutely. But to maintain the moral high ground, which again, I believe that the only way that this doesn't end in a cataclysmic disaster on a global scale is to maintain the moral high ground. The only way to do that is to start with the people you know are guilty, which are the politicians. And then all you have to do is follow the money, and you can find out everybody else that was involved. Mark said the shooter's boyfriend is on the run. The wicked flee when none pursue. Matt, the word freedom was only created after those in control took people's freedom, making it necessary to figure out a word to describe what they lost. Missouri, I watched it a lot, analyzing it, but I deleted it because I felt gross having it after evaluating it. I have no problem with gore, but that hurt my soul watching it. Paul said, well, if that was the case, we would have picked up arms 30 years ago. We've lost more rights in the last 30 years than you can imagine. The whole thing, like, just people saying that it is as easy as picking up guns and taking the fight to them. It's not. It's not that easy. People who say that they are ready for the boogaloo have never experienced life without comfort and amenities. So just be careful. With all we have to do is get the guns. No, the guns are there to protect ourselves and to use as necessary if we have to. I don't think we're there yet. There are other avenues that we can take without going cataclysmic on this, because as soon as the moment the United States has a civil war, another country, like might be Israel, who knows, another country will absolutely step in and take power. And they're like, it's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game. We do not need to be fighting each other. If we are going to pick up guns, and you can look at Athens, Tennessee as one of those times that it was appropriate to pick up guns and defend the Constitution. Athens, Tennessee, if you guys don't know, just a super quick down and dirty, there were some corrupt politicians who were trying to interfere with voting, and a bunch of local men in Athens, Tennessee broke into the National Guard armory, stole a bunch of rifles, and then prevented the people from making the polls dirty. Like, look into it. That was a super quick down and dirty. Even the founders waited for violence to be thrust upon them. The block you are doing at Summit, is it suitable for a newbie? Absolutely. So, yeah, finally, we've got 40 people on here still. So, but last thing before I go, sorry, my throat's a little dry. I've been talking a whole lot. The last thing before I go, the Combat Art Training Summit is this weekend at Tap Rack Ridge in Kentucky. This weekend. On Saturday, I found out today that I'm going to be doing a medical scenarios block. Ask anybody who's taken immediate action medical. I'm really good at getting you stressed out and making you do the things that you know how to do under pressure. So show up. If you are an alumni, you can go to the alumni group and see the discount code for that. Please use it. It gives you money and us money. If the U.S. is not the power, that's a gigantic power vacuum to fill. Yep. So, again, guys, let's not get into oversimplifying it by saying the Jews. No, it is the elite Israelis in the government, not all the Jews. I know and love many Jews. We're not going to do that. I have a flight to catch Monday morning, still in the air on this summit, but I might have to make it anyways. You should. Alrighty, guys. I went just over my hour, and like I said, I've got 6 kids in the house waiting for me to finish up with the live stream and start prepping for bedtime. So see you guys at the summit. And remember, your responsibility to be ready for the fight never ends, no matter what that fight is. And this is the way. This is the way. This is the way. This is the way. Thanks, guys.